Cece, and welcome to If You Like That, Try This, Disney Villains Edition. I'm standing this far back because I had to show off my new Mickey Mouse shirt. I know I'll come in now, but it's my new Mickey Mouse shirt. Okay, I'm here. So, the reason that I am spending today doing my If You Like That, Try This series with a Disney Villains edition is that currently at this moment I am on vacation in Disneyland. Yes, at this moment that you're watching this video, I'm in the happiest place on earth. Except, no, Tuesday. Never mind. I'm in Universal as you watch this, probably crying about Harry Potter stuff. But I will be in Disney, so that's what matters. So my If You Like That, Try This series is pretty self-explanatory. Today I'm going to be talking about 6 Disney villains and 6 books that you can pick up based on if you like those villains or not. These books that I'm recommending today are recommended based on these villains either because of the dark atmosphere or because they have a villain that I feel very strongly resembles this Disney villain. So I have 6 of these recommendations to share and I'm just going to jump right in. The very first Disney villain that I'm going to be talking about is Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. Gaston's evilness as a character sort of just boils down to obsession with his own looks. He would kind of do anything for them, and even when he does really terrible stuff later, it all kind of comes back to how he feels other people see him. If you really like Gaston as a villain, then I highly recommend that you check out the book The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This seemed like kind of an obvious one to recommend. It was the first one that I thought of when I started planning this video, but it just makes sense. The Picture of Dorian Gray is a book about this guy named Dorian Gray, and when he is very young and impressionable, he is told that he is beautiful over and over again, so he makes a deal to stay young forever and have this painting age for him. And that kind of turns him into a terrible person. This book has some really fantastic writing. It is quirky and different and just really beautiful at times, but that's just the way Oscar Wilde writes. The story of Dorian Gray is fun to read, it is different, kind of bizarre, but ultimately really great, and I think that if you like Gaston, then you'll definitely appreciate The Picture of Dorian Gray. Next up, the villain I want to talk about is Mother Gothel from the movie Tangled. Mother Gothel is a character that is extremely intelligent. She is emotionally manipulative and at times gets the protagonist Rapunzel on her side a little bit. She knows how to twist words, she knows how to get what she wants, and this makes her an incredibly scary villain. If you like Mother Gothel, and I really think that Mother Gothel's an interesting villain, then I highly recommend that you check out the Chaos Walking series by Patrick Ness. Now, this recommendation doesn't apply necessarily to the first book in this series. This book has a villain that I think is not quite as strong. However, once you get into the second and third books, I think that the mayor is one of the most complex and interesting villains that I've ever had the pleasure of reading about. He is smart, he is manipulative, and he often gets Todd on his side just because what he says sometimes makes so much sense. It is what I think is one of the strengths of the series in general, in that the series constantly gets you to go over to other people's sides and to see their point of view, and the mayor definitely gets that. He is complex and he is scary because at times Todd kind of believes him, and that's a scary thing to deal with. So if you like Mother Gothel for her complexity, then I highly recommend that you check out the Chaos Walking series. The next Disney villain that I'm going to be talking about today is Dr. Vasily A from The Princess and the Frog. Dr. Vasily A is a magician who has basically just a strong lust for power. He uses his magic to pull a lot of cons and trick a lot of people, all in the goal of getting control of something. If you like the con man, magician, lust for power aspects of Dr. Vasily A, then I highly recommend that you check out the book The Prestige by Christopher Priest. Now, a lot of you have probably already heard of this movie, and it is a fantastic movie. However, I think that the book is very strong as well, especially due to the fact that it has a completely different second half than the movie does. So if you're worried that you've already seen the movie and you're like, but I already know what happens, it's different. Don't worry. The Prestige is a story about battling magicians in Victorian London. It is just about these two guys one-upping each other constantly, no matter what comes in their way, and so there are a lot of casualties because of it. It is about tricks, it is about trying to be the best, and it is about a connection to the other side at times, I would say. So if you really like Dr. Vasily A, then I think that you should definitely check out The Prestige. Next up, I want to talk about Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. What I love about Maleficent is the fact that she does have a revenge plot, but the thing that she's getting revenge for is not being invited to a party, which some people see as a small offense, but she's really upset about it. I love myself a really complex villain, but I also love a villain who knows they've been wronged and just runs with it, even if they go a little farther than you think is maybe necessary. If you love Maleficent as much as I do, then I seriously recommend that you check out Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Yes, I know I recommend this book all the time, but honestly, when I came up with the connection between Maleficent and Gone Girl, it was too perfect. This is a story about a guy named Nick Dunn, and on the morning of his 5th wedding anniversary, his wife goes missing, a search goes underway, and he is under an awful lot of suspicion. This book is sharply written, it is interesting, it is a bit about revenge, and it is just wonderful. I could talk about a lot more of the ways that Maleficent reminds me of this story in general, but just if you really enjoy Maleficent, then I think that you probably will like Gone Girl. The next Disney villain that I'm going to be talking about today is Lotso from Toy Story 3. So Lotso is very, very bitter about being forgotten. That's sort of his main motivation, is just the fact that he was left behind and he doesn't really understand why. He takes this rage out on a lot of different people. He has a lot of power that he had to work a long time to get, presumably. Plus, near the beginning, he has sort of a hidden identity. Anyway, if you like these things about Lotso, then I think that you might possibly enjoy The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Just stick with me for a second. This book is about a guy named Edmond Dantes. When he is fairly young, up-and-coming dude, he is wrongly accused of treason and sent to prison for like a very, very long time. His bright future has been taken from him, but eventually he works very hard to escape, and he puts into motion the most ridiculous long-term revenge plan ever. I am telling you, this book is 1,400 pages long. This guy's revenge plan is intense, and it takes a while. Now, I'm not saying that Edmund is the villain of the story. He is certainly not, but I think that he still has a lot of similarities to Lotso. They both take a lot of motivation from the fact that they're bitter that they have been left behind for what they think are unfair reasons. Overall, I just don't recommend this book enough. It is, despite its length, a super entertaining read. There's a lot of swashbuckling and revenge and intense plots, and so I do highly recommend it, but I maintain the fact that it holds a little bit of similarity to Lotso, which I think is funny, but also, good to know if you don't know anything about the Count of Monte Cristo. And the final villain I'll be talking about today is Claude Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Now, it is probably fair to admit that it has been very, very long since I've seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame, mainly because the last time I saw it, I was a child and it terrified me, and so I haven't seen it in a long time. But I read up on what I remembered about Frollo, and I think that I found a good comparison. Okay, so Frollo is frequently regarded as one of the darkest, if not the darkest, Disney villain. He just seems like the one who is really bad more than anyone else. He has sort of a bizarrely twisted set of morals and truly believes he is doing God's work, but he's kind of making up God's work as he goes. He has a desire to purge the world of sin, but it is purging the world of sin by his own definitions. If you find these things about Frollo super interesting, then I highly recommend that you check out Vicious by V.E. Schwab. You guys know I had to put Vicious in here. Like, you had to know. So, Vicious is a supervillain origin story about two best friends who met in college and figure out the key to giving themselves superpowers is dying and coming back to life. This book also takes place years after this experience, when the two best friends have grown up and have turned against each other and are now enemies. I think that Eli especially bears a lot of similarity to Frollo in that he has a very strong moral code, but it is a skewed moral code, and he truly believes he's doing God's work, and everyone else is like, that's not how that works. This book is fascinatingly complex, full of morally great characters, and has some just fantastic writing in general, and I highly recommend that you check it out no matter what. So there you go, those are my recommendations based on Disney villains. I hope that you've enjoyed, and before you go, a couple of freebies as usual. If you really like Cruella de Vil as a villain, I think that that's also a strong motivator for picking up the first Chaos Walking book. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And hey, if you like Captain Hook, then I highly recommend that you check out Harry Potter, because both Captain Hook and Voldemort have a weirdly high-level vendetta against a young boy who is much more difficult to kill than he should be. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. If you have any recommendations for future, if you like that Try This videos, please leave them down below in comments, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!